Hello, fashion people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So today we're going to be learning how to make this kaftan with a trendy neckline, and these are the material needed. But for this video, I'm going to make use of a velvet material. Though in the picture it was an ashoki material that was used, but if you follow the pattern the way I drafted and sew it, you should be able to work with ashoki also. So if you check the picture well, you notice that it is a cut together sleeve, which is also known as doorman sleeve. So for you to know how much fabric you are going to be folding, you will need to measure to take your sleeve measurement from the center of your neckline, like the way we take our shoulder measurement. But now it will be from the center of your neckline to where you want the sleeve to reach. So that's what I did when folding my fabric. And now the first thing I'm going to be doing is to impute my gown length. So sorry, this part did not show. So I added the length of my gown, and I also impute extra 2 inches for the hemming allowance. The next thing is for me to impute the sleeve measurement. So let's assume that part that is the starting part is the center of the neckline. So to where I got 17 inches and I marked it. And I added half inch. That half inch is what I'll be using to attach the facing to the sleeve. Then I'll come down from that point by 1.5 inches as my shoulder slope. For the neckline, I'll be making use of 4 inches, and for the neck depth, I'll be making use of half inch. And now I'll connect the lines together. And to calculate your round sleeve, from that point where I came down by 1.5 as my shoulder slope, I'll measure my round sleeve and I'll add at least extra 3 inches for ease. This kind of design, the body is always very free. And I also added 1 inch as my sewing allowance. For the bodies, I'm going to be dividing my bust by 4. And after, you take your actual bust. But because this cloth is a free cloth, you are going to add at least extra 2 inches or 3 inches as the case may be for ease. So after you've input your actual bust measurement divided by 4, please add extra 2 inches or 3 inches at least. So for ease, so that it will be very free at the body. Then after I connected the line, you notice it is a bit sharp, but we don't need a sharp edge. So I came out by 1.5 inch and make a curve. That way, it will make the sleeve flow into the bodies. And afterwards, I added 1 inch allowance down as the sewing allowance on the bodies. And now I'll cut. So this is how it's going to look like, and after cutting, the back pattern is ready. We're going to be making use of the back pattern to trace out the front pattern. So I'm going to try to fold another fabric and I'll pin it round so it will be stable. And now I'll place the back pattern on this fabric. Before I start tracing out neckline or anything, the major thing I'll first trace out is the side, like the body, the shoulder slope, and the sleeve part. Then I'll try to mark that neckline so that I won't get confused. So just look at what I'm doing, like so. I'm not tracing out the neckline. I'm only marking it out. So now I'm going to mark my actual neckline, which is 4 inches. Remember, we made use of 4 inches at the back too. So I'll make use of 4 inches to here. And as for the neck length, I am going to be making use of 11 inches. So because we are still going to attach some facing to the neckline, so 11 inches is what we need. If you try to look at it like because it is long and you increase it, it will choke. So 11 inches is perfect. Then from that point of 11, I will come in by 1 inch and I will slant it into my neck width and I'll cut. So you can see what it looks like. So the back pattern and the front pattern is ready. So now let us start sewing. I'm going to arrange the front pattern and the back pattern like so, and I'll place their neckline and shoulder together, and I'm going to join it using half inch sewing allowance. So I've gone ahead to join it like so, and I am going to arrange the fabric like so, and I'll try to arrange them and get the center of the back neckline. And now what I'm going to do is to take the measurement of the neckline like this. So the reason why I'm taking this measurement, you will notice that I did not take that part that we came in by 1 inch, is because we are going to be cutting the V neckline, that V neck design that was there. So I've gone ahead to cut the fabric, the velvet design, and I measured what I got. Remember what I measured from the neckline was on fold. So if we're going to be cutting out, we're going to make sure that the fabric we're cutting for is on fold so it can cover all the neckline. So I measured the length of what I got and I added some few inches as allowance. Then for the neck width, I made use of 5 inches. By the time we fold it and we sew, we will be getting 2 inches on fold. Just please watch what I am doing if you don't understand the video. So now we are going to re-input what I measured when we measured that neckline. I got 15 1/4. Whatever you get, you should measure. Then from that part, I will come up by 3 inches. So that 3 inches is what we are going to be using to sew that neckline design. And I will now divide it also by 2 as shown. So I'm going to extend it into the extra inches I added as allowance. Though it is excess, I'll be trimming it later, but I just intentionally added it. And I've gone ahead to sew it. I sew using that center line, and this is what is looking like. So this way, you will notice that all the inches we added, now the neckline has reduced a bit. So this is where the neck will be passing through. And so this is it. Now I'll try to get the center of the neckline by notching it. So this will serve as a guide when we're attaching it to the cloth. So I'll use that center that I've notched and the part I notched on the back neckline as a guide, and I'll pin them. So you have to just be careful and you have to take your time to arrange these parts. I'm just going to be arranging half of the neckline. I will be pinning it together to the fabric, and by the time I'm sewing, I'll be arranging the second one. This works for me, but if you feel pinning work for you, you can pin round. But I will pin half of the neckline to the fabric. While I'm sewing, I'll be using the second half to arrange it to the neckline. So you can see what I am explaining. So now let's go and sew it. So I've attached the design to the neckline and you can see how beautiful it came out. Also, I forgot to say that I ironed interface to the velvet. Velvet is a very stretchy material and you have to add interface for stability so it will be easy for you to work with. Now, at the point whereby the neckline stopped around this area, you have to create a notch. Please do not cut too much, just a light notch for ease at that area. And now you can trim the excess. It's advisable for you to cut excess and trim later than you should have shortage of the neckline. So now on that down part, I'm going to go and join it. And this is what it looks like. So after, we have to cut the other neckline design, and I am going to be coming in by 1/2 inch so that the design will cover that neckline part because they overlap each other. And for the width of this second neckline design, I am making use of 11 inches. That is, half of it is 5 inches, using that center line design as a guide. And for the length, I'm also going to make use of 11 inches. It is a square neckline design, so it has to be equal. So I made use of 11 inches by 11 inches. I've also gone ahead to cut my velvet material and I added interface. If you're also making use of ashioke, all you need to do is to join the ashioke and you should add interface to it, but still follow the same procedure, the same way we did in this video. So now using the part I notch, because I have to notch the center, that center that I notch is what I'm going to place on the line. This will guide us to know how to place the neckline. So I'll pin it round like so, and after pinning it, I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll sew round using 1/2 inch as my folding allowance. So I've gone ahead to fold it, and now we have to cut facing for the sleeve area. For the sleeve length, I'm going to use the whole of the round sleeve, and while for the sleeve width, I'll use 3 inches. By the time I attach it to the sleeve, we will arrive at 2 inches because we'll use 1/2 inch to attach to the sleeve and 1/2 inch to fold in. So now, what I'm going to do next is to place the right side facing the wrong side of the fabric, and I will join together. Then I'll also top stitch. I will not top stitch on the velvet. I will top stitch on the fabric, so that by the time I fold it, it will be easy to fold. It will feel relaxed when I am folding. And now I'm going to also fold in by 1/2 inch, and this way the sleeve is ready. So you can see they are already coming out beautifully well. And now the next thing for us to do is to join the fabric at the side using the sewing allowance you added. So now also you have to notch the armhole area, because if you don't notch it, there won't be ease on that part. So you have to notch carefully, just at least 2 or 3 notches on the armhole area. Then after that, I am going to go and hem the down part of the gown. So now I'm going to go and iron it. Thank you so much for watching my video. See you in my next one. Bye.